Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple of months since my last video. I've just been really busy with summer plans and finishing up my master's degree, but I'm really happy to be back for a new video, and we're going to be exploring a new game today, Turnip28. Now, you might realise in this video that I have different hair lengths at some points, or just look a little bit different. It's because I actually started filming this video back in June, I think, and now it's the end of August when I finish it. I just didn't have time to work on YouTube videos for a while, so I hope you can look past those differences, and yeah, let's get into the video. So today we're going to be exploring Turnip28. It's a army-sized, slightly more skirmish feel to it war game developed by Max Fitzgerald. It's kind of a Napoleonic weirdness, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a very strange Napoleonic game where these root vegetables are taken over the world, and you build a band of an army that follow a vegetable route, or loads of different ideas. People have loads of crazy cool ideas, and for my idea I wanted to have an army that is really crazy about snails, because I figured that if there's lots of root vegetables everywhere, there's probably also going to be a lot of snails eating all the leaves and stuff poking out of the ground and things like that. So that's kind of the idea I rolled with. Today we're going to be kitbashing our Toff, who is the kind of the general of the army, the leader of the army. And yeah, I've been sketching up some ideas. So let's have a look at them, and I'll run you through some of the ideas I have for the army. So my army idea is something along the lines of Knights of the Holy Snail. They're like Grail Knights, but instead they're crazy for snail shells, and they treat that almost as their holy grail. They believe that eventually a giant snail is going to come and consume the root, so they're collecting loads of different shells and stuff to give as an offering to him. And the first model we're going to make is this snail riding Toff here. So there's only one place to start, really: the snail. So we're starting off this build with this toy snail here, which I picked up off the internet, super cheap, and I've also got another one as well, which I'm sure to use in the future. And we're going to start by building a platform for our Toff to sit on. So we're just using some old sprues here, and I'm just hot gluing these onto the top of the snail shell. This sort of scratch building converting is quite new to me, and I really enjoyed doing this. And I kind of carried this on and started to build a platform for the Toff out of just some card, and then I started using little matchsticks to create a wooded effect, or wood paneling effect, all over across. And you can see the finished result here. I was really happy with it. The final step was to add this mask, a Stormcast helmet or head, I believe, maybe from a piece of scenery. I got it in a bits box, but when I saw it, it gave me the idea for this project, and I like to think that they're controlling this snails through this mask or something like this, and it just looks so cool, I think. So I've just finished putting the mask on the snail, and it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. I was quite worried about it halfway through. I didn't know if it was going to work, and this is kind of the main idea for the kit bash, but I think we've got it to a stage where it's looking really cool. I'm loving his little tentacle antler sensor things. Got a few coming out of the mask as well. So yeah, now all that's left to do really is put this on, and then yeah, we're going to start working on the Toff to go on top. Okay guys, so my camera died just as I was finished sticking everything together there, and I thought I was going to stop then, but then I got a little bit carried away and made a few more changes to the model, which I'm just going to show you now. So here we are as we currently stand. I've added some spikes around the edge. This little pole here is going to be a flag holder, and then we've also got a little box here where something special is going to go later on. So now we need to build the Toff to go on top. Okay, so let's talk about some kit bashing. I had two characters in mind that I wanted to make. The first was kind of a preacher, heretical kind of guy, leaning off the back, shouting at the followers of the Toff below. And to do this, I had some 3D printed Turnip bits and also some other Age of Sigmar bits. I wanted his face to look like the mask on the snail as well, and just some green stuff, and also put a little shell in his hand as well. For my Toff then, I wanted him to look a little bit more extravagant, a little bit more regal, and I started with another 3D printed Turnip body, which had quite a nice like kind of uniform on, and then I wanted him to have like a big shell head, almost like a huge crown of a shell, and I had these like kind of jewelry kit kind of shells, and it just worked perfectly. And I stuck one of the little turnip heads in there, stuck that on his head, and it looks a bit ridiculous, and this shell is just so huge, but I kind of think you get away with that in Turnip. I then gave him kind of a book in one hand as if he was reading out a sermon or preaching as well, and this big stick from a Frostgrave kit, which I cut the original top off and stuck a shell on top. The last thing to do was just making this really big flowing cape with some cheesecloth, and then obviously had to stick some of the tufts on. Those are just like iconic Turnip stuff. And yeah, I was just so happy with how these characters turned out. Like, it was quite fun sculpting and doing the kit bashing, and they feel really unique, which is what I was going for or hoping to achieve. And I also made a third character as well, who I didn't film, but you'll see him in a second in the next little bit video. But yeah, super happy with these guys. I think they're some of the coolest characters I've made yet. So I finally finished building Kitbashing, and this literally took all day. It took a lot longer than expected, but I have now got 3 awesome characters to go on our giant slug. So first up, we've got our Toff here, who I'm just absolutely loving. I was really worried about he wasn't coming together, but now we've got him. He looks just amazing. We've then got this guy, who's kind of like a religious, almost like cheerleader, who's going to go on top of the slug and kind of chant to all the followers down below. And then we've got this little guy who's just protecting the base of the slug, and I'm going to show you how to make more of him in a future video, because most of my followers are going to look like this guy. So yeah, now let's get into the painting. So while we paint this model, I just want to talk a little bit more widely about my channel and just what I've been doing in the hobby recently as well. And as I said at the start of this video, I've had 2 months off recently, as you know, summer's just been super busy with summer plans, and you know, I've been concentrating on finishing my master's degree, which I literally just handed in today, this morning while I'm recording this. So that's super good. So I'm looking forward to some hobby time over the next couple of weeks. Recently with the hobby though, I found myself drifting away from the old world and stuff like that. I really obviously still love that game and my Wood Elves army, but I've just been so inspired by games like Turnip28 and so many other smaller 28 style games out there, and I'm going to start exploring more of these on the channel, just because these videos take so long to make, and oftentimes I'll put off trying a game system or something like that because I'm trying to make a video on it. So I'm just going to start incorporating it into my videos, and yeah, hopefully doing more of this style, a bit more talking to the camera, a little bit more vloggy. They're very popular at the moment, and just a bit more casual because they're a lot quicker to edit and they're super fun to make. But returning to the painting, as you can see, I'm just kind of taking a super free approach to the painting here as well, and just trying to have, you know, more fun with the hobby, or just do hobby in a much more relaxed way. And you know, I painted this guy just getting down some, you know, acrylic colors really quickly underneath, blocking in some colors and things like that, and then using a lot of oil paints now and trying to learn how to paint with oil paints to get that super textured, you know, I don't want to say grim darky look, but just a very, you just can get a very different finish with oil paints and a lot smoother blends and a lot different colors. And with this model, that's really what I was trying to achieve, and especially on the slug snaily body part of the snail, I just think it worked super well, and I was just really happy of how it came out. And it also works really nicely on the cloth and everywhere else, where you just put some white oil paint down first and then blend in some color to it, and you get these really bright areas, which I'm super happy with. I really enjoyed the contrast on this model by the end. And as we come to the end of the paint job here, you're gonna see me nearly be done. I did do some extra basing and things like that off camera, but it was just a super fun painting session. I probably spent 4 hours on this, and it's a really big model, but just experiment with different things, trying different techniques and paints and all this different stuff, and honestly just had such a good time painting this model. So I'm really looking forward to painting more Turnip stuff and more just 28 randomy kind of things outside of Warhammer, just because they're super fun to explore new fun ideas on. So behind me here is my painting desk, working desk, editing desk, my kind of everything desk. And right now we're gonna dress it to take some photos of the model, get some close-ups so you can see what it looks like properly. So when I'll be back, this desk is gonna look completely different, hopefully. Okay, and we're back. And I don't think this looks like a bit of a mess, but trust me, I think we're gonna be able to get some pretty cool photos from here. You can see I've just stuck down loads of like sticks and some tree I made before and some stones and things, and then we've got this blue towel behind because hopefully in Photoshop After normally you can key this out, put a different background on, and yeah, so hopefully I can flash up some really cool photos on the screen now from this scene. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this final photo. I absolutely love this image we created, and this whole model and this whole process was just super fun. You're seeing some close-ups now of the model and its completion, and the flag I painted at the end. I didn't actually show much of that in the video, but I'm not sure if I really like that much, but I thought I'd include it for the pictures. But yeah, thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.